Hello everybody, it's Coffee Morning with Carlos Morale, where I talk about a game based upon top secret criteria whilst drinking my morning coffee until my cup is dry. Sometime in between the previous South Park game, The Stick of Truth, and this one, something terrible must have happened. I must have aged. Yeah, I know it happens to us all, except Charles Manson now. Prick. Actually, that's a point. I really can't wait for the, you know what? Charlie wasn't as evil as he's made out by the media, man. Stories. How he was a scapegoat, or his ideas were sound. You just needed to be able to look past all the murdering and rape in order to get to his wisdom. Because the thing is, I don't have to do that at all. I get to pick and choose where I go, how I spend my time, which fights are worth fighting, what causes are righteous, whom to love and wherefore. Some things aren't worth the bother. And now we come to South Park, The Fractured Butthole, which is functionally, in terms of game mechanics, a slight step up over its predecessor.
I'm sorry, but Captain Diabetes cannot let you drive.
I'm fine to drive, okay? Get out of here. Hey, give me my keys.
You are in no condition, sir.
I'm fine, okay? Look. I'm fine, okay? Give me my keys, please.
I'll return them tomorrow.
Give me my fucking keys, you little shit! You think I can dance with this? Let's go.
The battle parts, for example, of the game now occur on a tactics grid. Like a simplified version of Fire Emblem or Heroes of Might and Magic. This makes the combat more dynamic and consequently more interesting. You need to position your little heroes so as to maximise the use of their special abilities, whilst at the same time mitigating as much of the damage that your opponents can do as possible. Eventually you'll build up a super meter which allows you to unleash a cool looking super attack. Super. So that's the best part. Otherwise it's £50 for the PC version. £50 and the game you get is basically a continuation of the first one, and both in terms of story and how it's basically the same thing. Pooping mini games, you get farting, you get digging through the cupboards in everyone's house. I mean, that's okay. Well, I mean, it should have been okay. It's like the first game. It's just that it wasn't okay. It wasn't when my character was attacked by the priests who were trying to rape him. It wasn't the gender discussion with the school counsellor. It wasn't Cartman's alter ego as the Coon that made me sigh and put down my controller. It was the fact that the game kept swinging with these jokes and none of them really landed for me. Playing this game made me glad that I don't do review videos as such, since I have no concept of how to rate this game. How to rate a game that is well crafted and yet utterly failed to entertain me with its content. With one small exception. Yet it could prove hilarious to the next guy. And that next guy could be you. You! Right there, you!
Yeah, America. Fuck yeah, America.
The issues in South Park have always been contentious. Pushing at boundaries is what the show did best back in 20 years ago when I first watched the programme. I feel like everything raised here, from women's rights, systemic racism, Morgan Freeman, all deserve either greater depth of discussion or just some better fucking jokes.
You want to get to her? You're gonna
Except
have to
Jimmy.
go through us.
I love that little guy. His fast pass character is almost enough to get me to keep playing the game by itself. He's just so keen to help you. And one of the few genuinely enjoyable people to spend time with. And in an RPG, it's no good if everyone's a dick. Because you got to spend like 40 hours in their company, sometimes more. And I mean, why you wouldn't, by choice, put yourself in a room full of people that you hate for 40 hours? Although I dare say some people call that work. A little bit of positivity can go a long way. So that's my conclusion then. South Park: The Fractured Butthole is not for me. It's more shocking than you probably give it credit for if you never played the first game, or if you've not been around the South Park franchise for a while. But it just wasn't a good enough experience to give value to that shock factor. The game, it's just not as funny as it thinks it is. And for something like this, I think that ends up being a fatal flaw. Anyway, thanks very much for watching today's video on South Park: The Fractured Butthole. Oh, butthole. I hope very much you've enjoyed it, and if you have, please do not hesitate to leave a like somewhere where you found this video, and I look forward to seeing you again. You! Yes, you! I'm doing the finger pointing. You get to double fingers. Pow! Pow, 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 pow! Now that's comedy gold.